I want to ask you something honestly. Have you ever gone through an entire day without doing anything particularly hard and still felt completely drained? Not just physically tired, but here, like something inside just ran out. I used to tell myself, maybe this is just what getting older feels like. And for a while, I believed it. But over time, I noticed something else was going on. And I think if you're watching this, you might have noticed it too. There are a few very common feelings people experience after 60 that don't come from the body, but from something much quieter. And this is the part nobody really talks about. We're told to expect changes after 60. The body slows down. That part, most of us accept. But what no one really prepares you for is how the mind starts to feel when it hasn't had enough quiet for years, not months, years. This video isn't here to tell you something is wrong with you. I want to be clear about that. It's more of a gentle check-in for something most of us forget to pay attention to. And one of these surprised me the most when I first noticed it. The first thing I started noticing was there's a kind of tiredness that sleep doesn't fix. You wake up in the morning, and before the day has even started, it already feels heavy. And what's confusing is you didn't even do that much the day before. So why does it feel like this? No one really explains this part. What I've noticed is it's rarely the body that's the problem in those moments. It's the mind. A mind that hasn't had a real moment of stillness carries weight, and that weight follows you into sleep and back out again. The mind and body are more connected than we often notice. When the mind holds tension, the body feels it too. Something else you might recognize. Think about this for a moment. Small things start to bother you more than they used to. A little noise, a small delay, someone saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And suddenly, it feels like too much. Then later, maybe an hour after, you find yourself thinking, why did I react like that? That's not like me. Yeah, here's what I want you to hear. That's not who you are. That's just a tired mind, asking for a little space. When the mind is overloaded and hasn't been given any room to breathe, the smallest things can feel enormous. It's not a character flaw, it's a signal. This next one, people rarely talk about, but almost everyone feels it at some point. This one might be the most quietly painful. This is something many people never say out loud. There are things you used to enjoy, a morning routine, a hobby, a certain kind of conversation, but now, when you do those things, the feeling isn't quite there. But what's interesting is that's not always what's happening. It's not that the things change, it's that we change. We lost our sense of calm while doing them. Joy needs a quiet mind to land properly. And when the mind is always full, even good things don't feel the way they should. And this part surprised me. You finally sit down. The house is quiet. No one needs anything. And you think, good, I can finally rest. But inside, it's not quiet at all. Thoughts keep moving. Old worries, half-finished tasks, things you said or wish you hadn't said. I noticed that this is one of the clearest signs that the mind hasn't had real rest in a long time. Because real rest isn't just an absence of noise outside, it's a quietness inside. And when that inner quiet becomes hard to find, it usually means the mind has been running for too long without a break. One last thing. That's a little harder to explain. It's not exactly stress. It's not sadness. It's more like fullness. Too many thoughts, too many small concerns sitting in the back of your mind. Too many things you're quietly keeping track of. And there's no space in between any of it. We spend so much of our lives taking care of everything else. Other people, the house, the responsibilities, the worries, that we forget the mind needs space too. Not productivity, not problem solving, just space. What this really means. If any of this felt familiar, I want you to sit with something for a moment. This isn't a flaw in you. It's not a weakness. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's just a signal, a quiet signal that says, I've been carrying too much for too long. Across different people, different lives, the same pattern keeps showing up. The ones who struggle most aren't the ones who had the hardest lives. They're often the ones who never learn to give themselves permission to stop. And here's something worth sitting with. Many people reach their 60s after decades of putting everything else first. Children, partners, parents, work, responsibilities. And somewhere in all of that, the habit of checking in with yourself just stopped. That pattern over years and quietly takes a toll. And the feelings we talked about today are often the results of that, what actually helps. I'm not going to tell you to overhaul your life. That kind of advice sounds good and usually does nothing. But I will share what I've seen actually help. I remember the first time I just sat in silence for a few minutes. No phone, no task, nothing to finish. It felt strange at first, but also lighter. That's it, nothing complicated. But it changes something else that helped, and this one surprised me. Paying attention to who you spend time with. Some conversations leave you feeling heard and lighter. Others leave you feeling drained, even if nothing difficult was said. That's not a small thing. Choosing even 1 or 2 interactions a week that feel genuinely warm can shift something quietly but deeply. Sitting quietly, even just 5 minutes without doing anything. Going for a walk without a destination or a podcast, just noticing what's around you. Letting your morning start a little slower instead of rushing straight into the day, and reducing noise, not all of it, not forever, just a little. These are small things, but here's what's interesting about them. They're not really about doing something new. They're about creating a little bit of space, and space is what a tired mind needs more than almost anything. And of course, if something has been feeling overwhelming for a while and it's not lifting, it's always worth talking to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a professional. There's no wisdom in carrying it alone. At this stage of life, peace becomes more valuable than almost anything else. Not because life is slowing down, but because you finally understand what truly matters and how little of it has anything to do with rushing. And sometimes all it takes really is giving yourself permission to stop, permission to be quiet, permission to be still. That's not giving up on life. That's finally beginning to live it with a little more care. If this spoke to you, you'll find more of these quiet conversations here. You don't have to figure this out alone.